Hey everyone, it's Jess, aka Jess the Reporter here on TikTok Radio IRL. I am joined by Tate McRae. Tate, I am so excited to have you here today.
Thank you.
You know what's crazy to think about? First of all, you're 20 years old. I refuse to believe that. I feel like you are so mature and you've already done so much in your life, and to think that it all began with you posting videos of you singing original music online. Do you ever think about those videos?
All the time. Yeah, it's weird. I've been writing songs for so long. It's just interesting, when I'm 13, you write about such different things than when you're 20, but your process stays the same, so it doesn't feel like much has changed.
How surreal has that come up been, though, to think about that process? You starting by posting those original videos when you're 13 years old.
Yeah.
And now here you are, 4 million followers on TikTok. You are touring. You're working on your sophomore album. So much to think about.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been crazy. I feel like I've lived 9 different lives in the sense of posting all those YouTube videos, being a dancer my whole life, and then obviously now last year was my first ever world tour kind of thing, and now going into my second album, it does feel very crazy. Time just goes by really fast, and you're I can't believe I've performed on that stage, and I can't believe I've performed on this award show. It just blows my mind sometimes. It's very cool.
Yeah, which of those stages or award shows stands out to you the most?
I mean, I think my first ever real award show performance was European Music Awards, and that was just very memorable because it was one of my first ones.
Yeah.
But then performing at Wembley was insane. That's for Capitol.
Massive.
It was just very crazy because it was 90,000 people, and there's been some scenarios that I didn't even realize how big it was until I got there, and I was oh, this is insane.
Yeah. That's when it starts to sink in. It's when you even think about the number of TikTok followers that you have, over 4 million. You can't comprehend that number. Maybe until you start touring, then you can start to comprehend it a little bit more because you see those people in person.
Yeah, it's strange. Tour definitely makes it feel a little more real because you're oh, these are actual people.
Absolutely. I remember at the end of 2022, you said that you had been working on music with a grown sound, and then you posted a TikTok with the caption saying, "Time for a new era." Do you feel like you've been able to achieve that new era with Greedy and with the other music that you've been working on?
It's definitely a lot older sounding. I'm talking about topics that I would have never talked about when I was 13. Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like I'm just in a phase where I this year was just I want to write about fun stuff. I want to write about the feeling of falling in love for the first time, and the exciting parts of things. 'Cause I've always tend to hyper focus on all the awful parts of things.
I get it. It stands out a little more,
as one does.
Yeah.
But it's been exciting to push myself, just write about different things, and I think people are gonna hear that on my next album. It just doesn't sound like my other music.
Yeah. How would you say the process has really changed for you since you were 13 years old? You're now 20 years old writing music. I'm sure it's a little different.
Well, I mean, yeah. I think when I was 13, I'd never fallen in love or gone through experiences before, so I was making up stories.
Oh, so interesting.
Everything was pulled from imaginary or tiny little instances, and now it's written about real people. Yeah.
Makes you think of someone in particular, I'm sure.
Now we've gone through it.
Yeah.
So now it's real.
Have your influences changed since then as well? Since at the time you were trying to piece these stories together, was there a certain someone that you looked up to back then, and who would you say you look up to now?
So many writers. I think obviously Taylor Swift is a huge I mean, of course, she's one of the best songwriters ever. But honestly, I didn't really have because I was dancing all the time, so I was always around music. So me listening to music wasn't a very common thing. I didn't have first albums that I was obsessed with. I was just always in it and didn't really think about it. And then my writing was just kind of just an outlet for me. So I feel it was just kind of in my blood, music. I feel I just always around me, always in my life. My mom was my dance teacher, and so when I started writing, I feel like it was kind of like instincts more and like what I was feeling really deep down internally.
Yeah. You mentioned Taylor Swift. Did you make it to the Eras Tour?
No. And I'm so sad about it. I was in Sweden, which was amazing. But like that Friday that I was supposed to, I was so excited. I was like, I have to get tickets. Like it's on the LA night, and I just like wasn't there, and I was so depressed because it's like everyone was posting videos about the LA show, and I was like, this is so depressing.
Don't worry, I didn't make it either. The FOMO is so
horrible.
Real.
And honestly, I've never really felt this way about any other concert in my life before.
It's unreal.
Except for this one, I'm like, I literally like need to see this. I feel like it's like a moment in history that I'm not a part of.
It is a cultural movement right there.
Yeah.
Did you take any inspiration from the Eras Tour into your tour?
As much as I could see on TikTok, but kind of. I think I've always looked up to Taylor Swift as a performer. I mean, she's just like, her stage presence is unbelievable, and I think just watching her grow up and perform at award shows, same with like all those pop girls like Ari and Miley and Taylor, like I feel like I just used to watch them and like in awe of them when I was younger, and I still do the same now with them.
Yep, exactly. We grew up with them and just continue to look up to them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Greedy.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you choose to tease it on TikTok?
Well, I tease all my stuff on TikTok. Because I've just always had a really close relationship with my fans in the sense of like, if you don't like it, then I won't release it.
Yeah.
If you like it, I'll release it. And we've just like always been close like that. So I just, even like last year, I just started teasing songs when teasing wasn't really like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, do you like this? Like, and I think now, I was just like, I wonder what they're gonna think of this. Like, it's a totally different sound for me. I never talk like this. Like, I think it's a whole nother side of my personality that they've never seen before. So I was so scared. I'm like, I wonder what they're gonna think. So yeah.
Well, and it's such a banger. It's officially out now. How has that reception been from your fans?
It's been really exciting. I think I always in my head I'm thinking of like the worst case scenario. So I'm like, oh, what if like people absolutely hate it?
Right.
And just don't like it, and my fans just like don't resonate. And it's been really exciting to see another side of them come out too. Like I'm just like seeing sides of my fans. I'm like, oh, like girls going off, like spicy dancing, like just like a different side of our personalities. And also, you know, they've been growing up with me. We're all now 20. It's not like we're 13 anymore. Like we're growing up, and that's just sick. I'm just like, it's so cool.
Yeah. Do you think Greedy represents this new Tate era?
A part of it.
Okay.
There's lots of sides to it. But I think it definitely holds a little section of it for sure.
If you could put one word to that era, what would you put? What would you describe it as?
Oh my gosh.
That's tough.
I would say, this is going to be such a lame answer. I would say, like, this is so lame. Intuitive.
No, that's good.
It's a bad word, but I feel like there were a lot of times where I feel like I just jumped into scenarios without using my brain because I was leading based on my heart and my intuition, which is amazing, but then leads to consequences. And I feel like that kind of sums up a lot of my album.
Okay, absolutely. No, that's not a bad word. We love that word.
Great.
That's smart. We should be intuitive, so good for you.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about this girl group that I've been seeing all over TikTok. Okay. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Maybe.
I think Olivia, Iris, Madison, you. How did this girl group come to be? How did it get formed? I want to hear all about it.
I just feel very lucky. I think meeting people in LA is really hard. I'm also not the type to like be like, let's go out, let's make plans. Like I just can't get myself to like text people. So it's like I met Olivia as soon as I came out to LA, and she's just been like one of my best friends since. So we've just gotten really close this year. And obviously Iris and Madison are like so talented, so beautiful. And then she just asked us to be like on the set of her music video, and we have been hanging out and having girls' nights, and it's just very fun.
Oh, what was filming her music video like?
So fun. I mean, like, it's just very cool to support your friends. Like,
Absolutely.
these jobs are crazy. And I feel like we all are going through, like, whirlwinds, and it's just, like, cool to, like, have girlfriends who all we do is, like, hype each other up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do each of you have, like, a different role in your group? Is there, like, a mom of the group, like, a reckless wild child or anything like that?
I think, I mean, we're all pretty similar, actually. Everyone has, like, their character. We're all very different. Completely different. I mean, like, I think we have totally, like, even just, like, me and my best friend Finley, who's one of my dancers, like, he plans out everything, and I just literally could not take things more, like, hour by hour. And it just, like, that's just the way that I am, and I'm like, my girlfriends are totally different. Like, some of them plan things out like crazy, some of them are like, you know, big nature girls, and some people are not. It's just, we're all so different. And
That's cute.
I'm from Canada. I'm just, like, I have a totally different personality. But we all love it. Opposites attract.
Yeah, you all, like, complete each other in a way.
Uh-huh.
Could we ever see a collab between yourself and Olivia?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, like, if we ever wrote... The thing is, when we're hanging out, we're either, like, listening to music. We're never, like, talking about, like, writing or anything.
Okay.
So I feel
valid.
like we wouldn't be like, oh, let's write a song. Like, we're usually, like, sitting there to, like, not think about our jobs. So maybe one day we'll get in the studio, but we'll see.
But do you play each other's music before it's released?
Yeah.
And are you, like, criticizing it a little bit?
Definitely with, like, a critical ear. Like, we're like, be honest. I'm like, same with anyone I play my music for. I'm like, don't be like, oh, it's so good, and it's a trash song.
Yeah.
You know, I think just honesty is key, and we're both super honest. But yeah, I think you know, I don't know where I'm going with this. We're both super honest.
No, that's the best. That's how you know it's a good friendship right there. You need
100%.
that honesty involved for sure.
Yeah.
So let's touch on your tour a little bit. You've been touring for some time now, and you're getting to perform your debut album. Finally, that must be incredible. What were the emotions like leading up to this tour?
It's been a second since I've, like, stepped out on stage. Yeah. I think it's such a different thing that I've had to learn is from being a dancer. So when I was dancing and I'd get nervous, I'd, like, hold all of my nerves in my throat.
Oh.
Which is super weird. Like, I just wouldn't breathe on stage.
Can't do that now.
Clearly, as a singer, you can't do that. So it's been the process of, like, dancing and singing on stage, which is A, hard, and then B, figuring out how to, like, not just sit still. And, you know, I'm moving around a stage figuring out how to, like, actually sing live. And I've been teaching myself. I mean, my first live performance was Lollapalooza, which was, like,
crazy
20,000 people, and I'm like, oh, I've never done a performance before. Like, it was just I think that's, like, it's just been teaching myself how to, like, be on stage and feel comfortable with it. And that's how I felt with this tour. It's just so excited now because I feel like I've done it a few performances now, and it feels like I'm, like, excited now.
No, congratulations. I do remember you mentioning imposter syndrome in a way where you felt like you were trying to be a singer on stage and you were forgetting, like, you are a singer on stage.
Yeah.
Where do you stand with imposter syndrome now?
I think it's something I'll always struggle with. I think it's just a weird thing where you just, like, feel like you, like, don't deserve, like, certain things, or, like, you're like, why am I here? Or, like, it's just really interesting when you get thrown into a whole nother world that you didn't even think was possible. And then you're there and you're like, I don't know if I should feel mortified right now, so grateful right now, or excited. So it's, like, this weird spectrum that kind of, like, blends together.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my God, like, you know, I don't want to mess anything up. I want to, you know, make sure my fans are happy and make sure that this goes smoothly. And I think that's where, like, the perfectionist in me kind of comes up.
So much pressure that you put on yourself, which
Totally
makes sense, of course. And you've done this for so long.
For sure.
So it just keeps adding up. Can we expect a sophomore album anytime soon?
Yes. I'm so excited. I've just been writing it this past year, and I've got quite a few songs that I'm going to have on the album ready. So I'm excited for people to hear it.
Oh, I cannot wait. I am so looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Tate McRae, for joining us here on TikTok Radio IRL.